Hello, I'm Mark Richardson, editor of Canada Moto Guide, and I'm here at the Toronto Motorcycle Show with Ian McInstray, the Canadian
manager.
What are you again? Canadian manager?
Yes.
Canadian manager for Triumph. And the thing is, when I got here, I made a beeline for the Triumph booth because Triumphs are the bikes that I remember from my youth. And so I wanted to come over here and look at all those old Bonnevilles and old Thruxtons, and they're all new bikes. What's going on, Ian?
Absolutely. As of 2020, the whole model line has been turned around and it's completely new. And for 2020, you know, the two rockets you see here, the GT and the R, are the flagship, and we're really excited about what Triumph has for this year.
How big is this thing?
2,500 cc. It's the single biggest displacement production motorcycle in the world.
So that's not a motorcycle, that's like a pickup truck.
No,
Does it handle like a pickup truck?
It handles like a bike. It's got some great features on it that make it very rideable, user-friendly, and a heck of a lot of fun to ride.
Why would somebody want to ride something as massive as this?
You know, there's a big class in regards to big iron, and those are large displacement bikes, very heavy. These bikes in comparison really aren't that heavy, but have that power and have that unique look that really kind of sets them apart. When you look at the market and the motorcycles that are in this market, there's really nothing like the Rocket, which adds to its uniqueness and its appeal.
Well, our guy Costa Mazuris, he went to Spain, I think it was, right, and rode the Rocket 3, and he couldn't believe that it actually went around corners as well. It's one thing to go up the road, but going around corners, he said, it was good.
Oh, it was fantastic. I actually watched Costa's because he's had a chance to ride the bike before I have. I'm going to ride the bike on Tuesday, so that's going to be my first opportunity to throw a leg over this bike and actually see what it's all about. But
Ian, it's like minus 10 outside. You're going to ride it minus 10?
I'm going to be down in Tucson.
Oh, it's all right for some.
So we'll take it.
All right. Well, let's have a look at some other bikes, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, Ian, this is the new Triumph 900, right? Which replaces the old 800. Is that correct?
Yes, they've gone up to a 900 series displacement now. Still the same traditional inline triple, but the displacement has been punched up to 900, and really excited with the extra torque and power that this bike comes with for 2020.
Do I want to buy one of these to go off-road, or is this just a poser bike at Starbucks?
Well, absolutely not. It's an adventure bike that you could do the Paris-Dakar on if you wanted to, or you could take it down to your coffee shop.
But the coffee shops are already filled with people on their BMW GSs. Why is this bike, do you think, better than the competition?
Well, I think it's got a little more versatility in regards to being an all-round everyday bike that you can ride to the store, as I say, or take it on a long cross-country adventure with all the side roads that go along with it. It's a lighter bike, it's a 900 cc, so it's not that big, 1,000 plus cc bike. The weight savings is on there.
It's tall. I got to be a tall guy to ride this bike, right?
On the tallest one, but we also make a GT version that has a shorter seat height at 29 inches.
So I can get a lower seat, and I can get the whole thing a little bit lower if I have a shorter in seat.
Well, the GT version of this bike that we make in a low version comes from the factory with lower springs, and it's suspended lower to allow for, you're not compromising on the suspension, you're not compromising on anything because it's been done at the factory.
So I shouldn't be deterred if I was just a little titchy guy. I could still ride a Triumph Tiger.
You can always ride a Triumph Tiger. If I can ride it, you can ride it.
Oh, very good. So this one, I think, this is the Rally Pro, right?
This is the Rally Pro. This is the top spec Rally version. So by Rally, it means it's got the 21-inch spoke wheels, and they're actually tubeless this year, which is great. The GT has a 19-inch cast wheel. So just a little bit different versatility on it. Some people like the spoke, other people like the cast wheel. The spoked wheel version comes with the Showa suspension and the semi-electronic rear suspension. A little more off-road oriented, but at the same time, it has all the versatility that you would want on a road-going bike.
But when you say top spec, I start getting scared because that means it's expensive. How much is this bike?
This one actually comes in under $20,000. And that's the top spec version. They'll start at just over $16,000 for the base models and work their way up. But what we find, Mark, is customers generally gravitate to the top spec bike because they want all those bells and whistles on it. And to buy them all individually, it's much more of a package and much more of a better deal to have that bike with the top spec on it. And I'll tell you, having a heated seat and heated grips,
This has a heated seat?
had a heated passenger and rider seat. It really adds to the versatility of this bike.
I guess when you're going to Tuktoy-Aktuk or something, right? You kind of like to have a nice hot ass.
Have you been outside today?
It's minus
It's
a lot.
minus a lot, yeah.
Well, cool. Well, there's one more bike I want to have a look at while we're here,
For sure.
and that's like the old bike. So let's go look at the Bobber.
Let's get off to it.
So Ian, this is the Bobber. I know it's a Bobber because it says Bobber right in front of me to remind, but it says TFC underneath it. What does that mean?
That's Triumph Factory Custom. Triumph came up with this moniker to be able to develop some very limited special edition bikes for the global market, and I think they've hit it out of the park with the Bobber and especially.
How many of these ones are there going to be?
There's only going to be 20 for Canada.
Oh,
And,
how many
uh,
for the world?
For the world, I believe there's 200.
Oh, we get 10% of the world's supply.
10%.
All right, is it expensive?
Under $20,000, which I think the price point is very well positioned for us, and it offers a lot of features that normal customer just would not be able to get on this bike.
Like what?
Well, as an example, a full Öhlins front end with Brembo Stylema brakes, carbon tipped aero exhaust.
So this is an old looking bike, but it's got all the new stuff.
It's got all the new stuff. It's got traction control, it's got ABS, it's got everything that you'd want on a modern bike. It's a liquid cooled bike, but the nice thing about the Bobber TFC that adds to the exclusivity of it is unless you own a TFC, you cannot buy any parts for this bike. So you could not get a tank unless you own the bike.
Oh, really? Oh, that sounds a bit snobbish to me.
We want to make sure that the people that are buying this bike know that they have that exclusivity.
Well, fair enough. And you think you'll sell them all okay?
They're already gone.
They've already gone? I
Already
can't
gone.
buy this bike? What about this bike?
No, this
You
is
give me a deal?
this is the prototype. You can't. It's going to go in my garage.
Yo, you're taking it.
Actually, this one's probably going to go in the museum.
Museum. Oh, well, I'll come down and visit the museum sometime.
There we go. Perfect.
Ian, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
Have a good show.
Cheers. Yeah.
For Canada Motor Guide, I'm Mark Richardson.